Hi, friends. So, I guess we are live now, and I'm hoping some good interactions with you guys tonight. Come on, man, it's Friday night. Let's have a bit of discussion over the latest happenings in the cricketing world over the last week or so. We made a video previously also, and we have now promised that around every weekend we will come up with the top 5, 10 happenings of the cricketing fraternity, and we are back again. So please shoot your feedbacks, please shoot your questions and comments, and let us know your thoughts also. If any particular topics you want us to delve upon, we can definitely do that. We would be more than happy to do so. And so we are back. Shubhadeep is with me today, and so also please, watch our previous videos also. We have made videos on some top players like Bumrah, Dhoni, Virat, and then we are making videos on news also. And once maybe the Indian season starts, we will make more videos analyzing the Indian team and all those things. India, Bangladesh, India, New Zealand. Also, there will be that England, Australia ODI series, which I think might give us a fair idea regarding what kind of teams those teams would be sending in that Champions Trophy in the upcoming year. So, as of now, let's start with our news. Um, just a couple of days back, the ICC released pitch ratings. After the T20 World Cup in the West Indies and USA, particularly USA, the Nassau County Stadium games, and people were, what can I say, pretty much excited regarding what's gonna be ICC's review of those pitches. And yes, ICC released a detailed rating for each and every pitch which hosted the T20 World Cup throughout the month of June. And to be honest, definitely that USA ground got negative ratings for two matches, unsatisfactory review, and another pitch which got that unsatisfactory tag was surely, many would have given it. Yes, it was the first semi-final between Afghanistan and South Africa. The game lasted maybe just over an hour or so, and Afghanistan were rattled away by the sort of movement of the pitch. And at the end of the game, their coach Jonathan Trott just came up and said boldly that he would have been absolutely happy if his team would have fought and lost on a different pitch, but that kind of a pitch for a semi-final, it just didn't support the a game like a semi-final. So that was definitely one pitch. And if I speak of the other two pitches which got the unsatisfactory tag, those were the first two games on that Nassau Stadium, and one was that Sri Lanka South Africa game. That was a game where again the South African Pacers took full made full utility of the surface conditions and blew the Sri Lankan batting order, and then South Africa themselves also just huffed and puffed their way through to chase down that paltry target of some 78 odd, I think. And they took some around 17 overs. That was really a snooze fest going in the second innings, sort of a match where you know what the results gonna be like, more or less, but it just never came, sort of. And the other game which got an unsatisfactory tag was the India Ireland game. Many might have thought that maybe that India Pakistan game that would also have come under this category, because India, apart from that knock from Pant, which also included a lot of drop catches and mistimed edges and all those things. Once Pant got out, the Indian batting order just fell like a pack of cards, and then Pakistan just never got their way through, apart from a small cameo from Fakhr Zaman. Rizwan, Imad Wazim, they just never could cope up with the pace and bounce of the pitch. But maybe fortunately for the ground, they didn't get any negative ratings for the India-Pakistan match. And apart from that, quite a few stadiums got good ratings also. Like if I speak of the finals, and also a couple of games in the Dallas Stadium, like the first game, which was between, I guess, USA and Canada, where Aaron Jones played a very good knock. So those stadiums mostly some gave neutral pitches. I think it had enough for the bowlers and enough for the batters. As of now, I think it was a fair judgment from ICC's part. And also, definitely that USA pitch, I don't feel was at least good for something like a T20 cricket. T20 cricket has to be fun. It has to be something, what can I say, glamorous. It can't be dull like red ball cricket. There should be one difference between red ball cricket and T20 cricket. So in that case, I mean, when we are speaking of the ICC, there's another latest happening which is going on, and we're getting to know that Jay Shah, I mean, who's been the who's been with the BCCI for quite some time, and now he's gonna be promoted. I can say so. He's gonna get to the ICC role of ICC chairman, and after some months, maybe by the end of this year, we can see him in that role. And in that case, I would like to know more from Shubhradeep.
So yeah, as Saptushi had mentioned, the BCCI secretary for the moment, Jay Shah, is in the front runner to become the new ICC chairman. I don't say front runner. I think he has actually captured the chair. To be honest, the moment he got the support from Cricket Australia and England Cricket Board, it was always supposed to be Greg Barclay has just kind of gone through his two terms in the position as the ICC chairman. But the moment if you remember, Shaptoshi, there was a point of time during the T20 World Cup prize distribution ceremony that generally is the ICC chairman who generally hands over the trophy to the captain of the winning side, and it should have been Greg Barkley, but Jaisha somehow came out of nowhere, and he actually was present during the prize distribution ceremony, and he actually handed over the trophy to Rohit Sharma in Barbados, and that was the point of time when I thought that maybe this is going to be interesting in the next few months. And the moment, the only thing Jaisha needed was to get support from the other two boards in the big three, that is the England and Australia. And the moment Mike Bird has actually said to BCCI Secretary Jay Shah that I'm okay with it. ECB has actually been quite okay, and why not? Obviously, India being at the top of the grassroots of whatever is happening in world cricket in many kind of aspects, so the success or the money coming from the game. So Jay Shah is going to be the ICC chairman. He hasn't been actually been officially announced. He hasn't actually spoken an inch on the topic, to be honest, at the moment. But the way things have unfolded, you'll realize it's not. It won't take much time before he actually gets the official announcement on the ICC. Greg Barclay, nothing to do with the man. He actually gone through a a term, as I mentioned, and he actually decided to deny his third term in the role as ICC chairman. And the I think the election is going to be 4 days after the day we are shooting. That's August 27. So August 27 is the day when the elections will be go on, which is just a matter of time wasting, I would say, because Jasha has already been the winner almost in the race, which shouldn't actually happen at the moment in my thought process. And so yeah, it's a huge development. I don't know how many people have realized the weight of the story, because I haven't seen many news reporters or many news channels have reported the news actually, but it's a huge for an Indian BCCI press secretary from coming from Ahmedabad, and then coming from a political kind of background, and then becoming the ICC chairman, head of the ICC. So it's going to be a huge role for him to bring some changes in the game of cricket. And I think with that kind of development, that India is not going to Pakistan for the Champions Trophy. It's almost confirmed. Jayshah sitting at the position.
Yes,
It's almost a given thing. So India is going to Sri Lanka, maybe, or Dubai, most possibly Sri Lanka for the Champions Trophy in the February kind of a season. But yeah, we spoke about the two things about ICC, the pitch ratings and the ICC chairman. The biggest news, actually, in my eyes, is the MCG is going to host the 150 actually celebrate the 150th anniversary of Test cricket by a one-off test of between England and Australia at MCG, as I mentioned. And on more of the news, Satoshi will take us to the insiders. Satoshi, up to you.
yeah, so definitely. I mean, it's gonna be a celebration of 150 years of what's been sort of the purest form of cricket. We can say the Test cricket. So definitely, I mean, there was a celebration at the for a centenary celebration back in, I think, 1977, when it was the 100 year of Test cricket, and it would be same here for the 150 years of Test cricket. And then I mean, definitely Australia has also said that the future regarding the future of the grounds. I mean, Adelaide is mostly gonna get the pre-Christmas test MCG as usual, Boxing Day test, and then Sydney gets mostly the New Year test. But the future of another ground, I mean, maybe that ground has got two historic matches in the last 4 years. Shamar
Yeah.
Joseph, Rishabh Pant. I think you are guessing it right. Yeah, so it's the Gabba Tower, and that ground has a pretty concerning future. As I mean, it has been reported like maybe it surely it's getting one test in the upcoming summer against India. Maybe it will get a test, though I'm not sure against England. But going forward, it may not host any more tests for Cricket Australia in the upcoming future, as the ground is also gonna be going under some sort of renovation before the Olympic Games will be held in Brisbane in 2032. So the future of GABA is a bit concerning. As far as the MCG huge test is concerned, 2027, yeah, it would be sort of a fest if all the big players from England and Australia in the current generation participate. Though I doubt how many of these Australian players will be there 3 years later. I mean, Usman Khawaja surely won't be there. Mitchell Stark, I'm not very sure. If I speak of maybe Steve Smith, his future also, I'm not sure. 2027 means, I mean, there will be another WTC cycle gone by. So one WTC final is in 2025, 2027 June. There will be another final, and then there will be that huge test upcoming. As far as the English side is concerned, also, I'm not sure if Ben Stokes will be playing till then. Joe Root will be maybe nearing the end of his career. So, anyways, let's hope that would be some big test match to celebrate the 150 years of test cricket. Also, it would have been nice if maybe the ICC might have involved someone like Team India also in this celebration, as they have also been a pretty strong side, I would say, in red ball cricket. Maybe they have fared better than England also, but then again, the heritage of test cricket, the two teams who first played test cricket, the Ashes and all those things are involved, so that's definitely fair. And anyways, we would be covering a few more news, but before that, I would definitely like you guys to at least interact some more. I mean, please shoot your comments. Also, if you watch this video after the live, you can definitely post your feedbacks and your questions in the comments, and one of us would definitely like to answer you guys or come up with videos as per your requirements. So, definitely, uh, as uh, as for the MCG, I think we have discussed enough. And in that context, I would like to say, I mean, the upcoming series. I mean, England are right now playing against Sri Lanka. That series will be a three-match series, and then they will move to Pakistan in October. And last time they went to Pakistan, we all know they played some ultra level baseball and just washed Pakistan away. Ben Stokes' tenure as a test captain was just on the rise, and they won another three matches without even breaking a sweat, to be honest. Jimmy Anderson and Ollie Robinson played beautifully, and I think more than the batting, it was those spells from Jimmy Anderson, Ollie Robinson, and also Mark Wood in that second test that helped England to win, because I think batting was more or less easy on those relatively flat decks. Pakistan also made 500 plus runs in on a couple of occasions, but it was mostly those spells by the English bowlers in the second innings when the ball was reverse swinging a lot. I think that's what made the difference, and that's where Pakistan failed to capitalize with relatively inexperienced pacers on their side. And that series is just again coming up in October. But there's been a news breaking that maybe the broadcasters are not that much interested in this series, and there might be the series might be under some sort of scrutiny. And in that context, Shubhradeep would like to take us more deep.
Yeah, so then excuse me, please. News actually broke out yesterday morning that England's tour to Pakistan in the late autumn could be blocked out because of television rights, and it's quite struggling for me to understand because it's not the first time it's happening. It's not the first time it's happening for a big three team. If you see, when India toured Bangladesh towards the end of the last in the 2022 the last series before Rishabh Pant actually met the unfortunate accident. That was the one of the test matches which wasn't telecast in India, despite of India playing in Bangladesh. So it's not the first time it's happening. I think the main reason behind all these developments that they're not trying to find any exclusive media rights is because of the test matches that Pakistan has been producing. Flat tracks, flat decks, not much really. If you see the ongoing test match between against Bangladesh and between Bangladesh and Pakistan at Rawalpindi, not much life in the test match. It was a flat deck, absolutely sort of every batsman is scoring runs for 400. I mean, 400 plus in the first innings. Bangladesh are looking good for getting 400 in the in their first innings with the bat in hand. So that much quality in the test matches. And I understand one thing that Sky has been covering England's game since 1990, the point of time when Graham Gooch actually toured West Indies for the very first time. Sorry, for Graham Gooch actually toured England to the West Indies, and that was the first series Sky actually broadcasted for England home game. And since then, it's been 35 years. They have been broadcasting all the games. When they haven't been on tours like New Zealand or Australia in the 22 and 2010, TNT has actually come out as they did during the India tour at the start of this year. And actually, TNT hasn't really shown their interest too in the Pakistan series, and the reason is very simple. Pakistan is not playing any quality game. They are not actually producing any quality surface, or you can expect the game to get results. The fans are not coming. The Pakistan local fans are not coming. They are actually trying to find a media rights and the local band. So they are actually struggling themselves to find the media rights, let alone the England side. And the Warner Bros. They actually approached the Warner Bros. And they actually have wished informed their desire not to go for the Pakistan series. So it's definitely a bit of concern that when Stokes is going, Ollie Popes and all the kind of big guns that have been bucket. And I hope Jack Crawley gets fit, so he might be flying the plane for the Pakistan series. And it's not the
Yeah,
fact that England
definitely. I
have lost.
mean, if we speak of England's team, I think, yeah, Dan Lawrence has a point to prove. I mean, he last played in 2022. He will get a run, I think, in this Sri Lanka series. And even if he does well, I mean, once Zach Crawley comes back, it will be difficult for him to retain his place because Zach Crawley has been one of England's best players in the last year or so.
Yeah, and England have so much thing to prove, and they played good cricket actually. Ultra, as I mentioned, so much quality cricket in the last trip. So it will be an interesting series, but actually been struggling because of the pitches. As I mentioned, Pakistan have been producing not much quality in any test matches. I thought the cute has changed. Maybe the pitch will change. It has been the same, absolutely flat deck in the Islamabad. So I don't think what will happen. They see the reason behind Sky is they're actually putting much focus attention towards the ICC tournaments like a Champions Trophy, T20 World Cup. They'll obviously, the telecast the Champions Trophy in Pakistan towards the start of the next year. It's not the case with this bilateral series. So, and there is the winter season in England, so the much focus or attraction is towards the football game. So it's a bit kind of bewildered thing, the surprising thing to think that England will be playing in Pakistan and there will be no telecast in their home cities. So, but let's see what the developments. I hope one of those channels at least come up with the telecast and media rights. But let's see what happens. Now, obviously, we talk about the England team. They have actually the England Cricket Board has actually announced the home summer schedule, which is going to be a brilliant schedule. I think England is going to host India, both men and women, for bilateral series. For men, it's 5 test matches. For women, it's 3 ODIs and 5 T20s. Might be wrong in the number of T20s, but sorry for that. But surely 5 test matches, the bumper season. They're going to start the summer with one of this as they promised against Zimbabwe, returning to the country since
Yeah, anyways, these days in Test
very
cricket,
first.
India, Australia, India, England, and England, Australia is all that means. Rest is different.
It, this is different, as you mentioned, and that's why they didn't actually playing South Africa in a Test series. They're playing South Africa and West Indies in the bilateral series. One thing, a couple of things I liked about the schedule, which is the games have been expanded in all around the country, all around United UK. Actually, Chelmsford is not. Bristol is going to be host a couple of games. Durham is going to be there. Chester Street a couple of games there. Southampton is going to be host a couple of games. There is Cardiff. So I love the way they have expanded the game all around the country, all around the United Kingdom. Schedule is very interesting. The Indian schedule, 5 test matches, the way they have actually put the dates and the venues. They're starting at Headingley. The last venue, as an Indian fan, I would love to see India starting their test summer against England, ball swings so much in Headingley. If you are even under the sky, even under bright sunshine, it's hard to score runs in Headingley against the Pacers. And towards
Yeah,
the
I mean,
start of the, I
Headingley
guess, I don't know
usually,
what.
if we see the first innings or something, I mean, Headingley, if I talk of the last few years, I mean, in the 2019 match where Stokes played something godlike, even he bowled some marathon 12 overs on trot in the third innings, or but the first innings, the ball was just flying away, and England got all out in the span of uh, an hour or an hour and a half, and then India got 78
Yeah.
all out a year later against England. And then even in the last Ashes, if I remember, England won the match, but it was a pretty low scoring match, and England just huffed and puffed their way to the target of 250 odd. And it was a Mitchell Marsh special in the first innings that somehow kept Australia in the game, else Australia would have lost. Also, England were in trouble in the first innings. Then
Exactly.
Stokes
So
played some good innings.
So I think that's why it's really smart for England to schedule the first game, opening game in Headingley, then moving to Birmingham another time where the Hollies will be go after Virat and Co and Rohit. It's a very tough place to play Test match in Birmingham. The ball spins, but the most actually the environment actually makes it really hard. The Hollies are after it all the time, and if you are in Boston and if you are playing against England, you have to be careful to mental health because the Hollies are after you. And then they're moving at Lords, which is gonna be kind of a. I feel it's kind of a home game for India because all the time they played Lords, they win. Last time they did actually the last day on Siraj and Bumrah's heroics in the last session after they won against England. They lost in 2018, they won in 2014. So let's
Yeah,
see
I
what
mean,
happens. And then
definitely
they're
India.
moving to Manchester.
Yeah, I mean, India
Yeah,
have had
go.
decent memories in Australia over the last couple of tours or so. But I think in England they have had their moments, but they've just have failed to capitalize. In 18, there were so many close matches. I mean, that first match they could have easily won, but it was Kohli or nothing in that match. And then in Lords they were just blown away. And then the third match they came back strongly with good knocks from Hardik, and Hardik took a fifer also. Kohli got another 100, got a 90 odd,
2018.
and they won that match. And then again, the fourth match, it was a century from Cheteshwar Pujara, but I think it was Moeen Ali's off spin that just pushed India to the back foot in the first innings, and India failed to take a significant lead. And then in England just batted them out of the game. And the second innings again, it was only Kohli who could score some runs, and I think Rahane got some 50 odd, and the others just fell like a pack of cards. And then by the time they came to Oval, I think they were mentally drained out, and they just failed to put up a fight. Though that was a pretty good fifth day. I mean, I didn't expect India to go that far. Rishabh Pant and KL Rahul played two historic innings, but I mean, anyways, 450 odd was never chaseable on that pitch. And I mean, if I speak of 2021, it was a much better performance. And also 2021, I think, was the lowest point of English cricket in red ball, because England at that point of time were in sort of a losing spree. And I mean, after that win in Chennai, where Joe Root got a 200 in his 100th test, I think England lost some 10 out of 11 tests or something before Ben Stokes took over the captaincy. There was a stat like that. I think the only win was that Headingley match against India, where they got India all out for some 78, and then and they scored massive in the second innings. And then again, the third innings, when India came out to bat, they looked good. But once Kohli got out, and Kohli, Rohit, all these guys got out, the lower order just felt like a pack of cards. I mean, at Lords, India just did the unimaginable. I mean, when they came out in that on the day five, nobody expected them to even draw, leave alone win the match. And then Shami and Bumrah played that historic partnership in the first session, and then that massive boost of confidence from Kohli make them feel like hell out there for the next 60 overs. And then what the Indian bowlers did, beg your pardon, what the Indian bowlers did for the next 60 overs, and the spell that Bumrah and Siraj bowled. Even Ishan got a couple of wickets, if I'm not wrong. He got Bairstow out, I guess, with the nip backer. And so, I mean, the kind of performance they put in, that was really appreciable. At Trent Bridge, I think they were in a pretty advantageous situation, and the game was tilted more so towards India's favor. But the rain came in on day five, and I think India just missed out a chance to open the series with a win. Yeah, definitely they could have lost the game, but I think India were more or less confident. And also Stuart Broad was injured after that series, and Ben Stokes also missed the
Yeah.
first part of the series because I think he was taking a break due to some mental issues. And uh, at that point of time, I mean, the English team mostly looked like it was Joe Root versus India. I mean, Joe Root was trying to cover up everything India threw towards them, and he was scoring runs and runs, hundreds and hundreds. I think he scored, apart from that oval match, he scored 100 in all the other four matches of the series, and he scored some 700 plus runs. He scored I think 180 plus at Lords. He scored 100 in the third innings at Trent Bridge. Even if I speak of that Headingley match, he scored 100 only. That oval, he somehow failed out. Even that oval match, I mean, when India gave them some 350 odd target, that was sort of a pretty placid day. I mean, nothing was happening on day five, and then Shardul got one to spread and pass the edge of Rory Burns' bat, and from there, the spell that Bumrah bowled, he kept on firing those reverse swinging Yorkers at pace, and he got and the way he castled out Pope and Bairstow in the span of a couple of overs. I mean, that was really appreciable. But then again, I mean, even after so much of efforts, I think a mistake India did was maybe they just abandoned the last test. There was some COVID news which broke out, though. I mean, I don't know if that was more so because of the IPL, which was about to start in a week or so, or in the COVID was really that serious. But then again, I mean, once the series shifted a
But we
year
just spoke
later,
about
I
the
mean,
COVID.
yeah, so I mean, there were some definitely controversies, but once the series got shifted a year later, that English team was different. I mean, then they were coming from a whitewash against New Zealand. They had chased targets for fun. And I mean, I think Ben Stokes won the toss against India. Also, Rohit Sharma was injured in that test, and Rohit Sharma was one of their best batters in that series. In the first four matches, Rohit Sharma and KL Rahul were their top two run scorers, and both were missing in that test match. They opened with Cheteshwar Pujara and Shubman Gill, who has a pretty poor record in England. So and Virat Kohli also was not in the right frame of mind, not in the right set of form at that point of time. And I mean, the Indian batting struggled. Yeah, Rishabh Pant played a heroic knock. Ravindra Jadeja yet again showed his prowess. But I mean, India did really well on the first 3.5 days, I can say, and 380 plus target. Many would have thought the worst that can happen is England drawing it out, but mostly India would win it. But then England came out in their baseball fashion, and once they got 100 plus, I think India just sort of started panicking, and they had no answers. Because also, I think that was the first time India were encountering that kind of a scenario. And yeah, I mean, later on, maybe they had slowly adapted to that approach, but at that point of time, India just didn't have any answers. And I think Zach Crawley and Alex Lees was opening at that point of time. They got England off to a pretty good start, and despite three quick wickets in the middle, Joe Root and Johnny Bairstow just played and played and played. Yeah, Johnny Bairstow was dropped once, I think, by Hanuma Viadi in the slips, but I mean, Johnny Bairstow was in some different sort of zone at that point of time. He got some three or four hundreds in that English summer, and he was just unstoppable before that freakish golf injury
But
happened, and then the world turned upside down for him.
but I still
So
feel
yeah,
in
I
this
mean,
home schedule in
yes, definitely. I
2025,
mean,
yeah, India have a chance to win. Actually, to be honest, the
yeah,
last
definitely.
two test matches
So
they're playing in Manchester.
that's what my point was. So the story which I narrated, I mean, India came so close in 2022, and it would have really hurt them that they yet again failed to win a series in England. The last time they did was in 2007. And since then, I mean, they went in 2011, it was a whitewash. Then in 2014, they won that historic match at Lords. Ishant Sharma spell on day five, Ajinkya Rahane 100 on a green top on day one. But then it was a nightmarish series. Virat Kohli had a nightmarish series. 18, they had their chances, but they failed to capitalize. 21-22 was the best chance for them, but they again failed. And I think 25 would be sort of another good chance. Also, it would be just after the WTC finals, considering that India would most likely play the finals. So they would have a month break, and then all important series.
Yeah, so as I said, the fourth test match in Manchester and the fifth in Kia Oval in London. The good thing for England, actually, the good thing for Indian actually touring side is the last two test matches is towards the end of July or August. So basically the weather will be very, very hot and sunny mornings. So the pitches will be really flat. You saw what happened in Chandigarh in the first innings in the ongoing Manchester test. The ball actually kept low. The kept low like went to the parallel with the sheet. And India actually should love bowling in Manchester. Haven't really played in Manchester for a long, long time. I think since 2018 they haven't played there for a long, long time. The pitch
Yeah,
there
I
was very
think the
slow, and
2018 fourth test was in Manchester where Moeen Ali spun a web in that first innings.
yeah, so then the spin is going to be a huge threat, and when you have to quality spins of Kuldeep Yadav, Ravindra Jadeja, Ashwin, and Akshar also can bat, so you actually have a bit of a weapon in your side. And then Kia Oval, I always believe if you are an Asian side and you are Kia Oval batting in Kia Oval, you have to score runs in the first innings, and you have a better spinners, quality spinners. You are bowling in the third innings and fourth innings. You are actually always have a chance to win the Test match. It is actually the slowest track in the whole England side, along with Southampton, the Rose Bowl. So I always feel India have a chance in 2018 also. KL Rahul and Shappan, as you mentioned, batted really well. The Adil Rashid ball actually get the better of KL Rahul, and then they haven't played. They actually owned last time here because of the Jadeja and all the shuttle tackle spells, and now they have again a chance to win the series at the Oval. But the only concern for me is the heavily won the first one, the first opening test match of the series. If they negotiate it better in a better way, then it's all merry for India. I am really excited for the series, to be honest. Really, really excited for the home summer. And actually, home summer excited for the England India women's side. Also, they're also playing bilaterals in the white ball cricket. The good thing you have to remember, the good thing is that England already announced that by the time India women return in the next following season in 2016, they are going to play the one-off test match in Lords, the very first women's test match in Lords, which is exciting news, really, really news,
Yeah, I
really
think the last
positive
time
news
India
from the
women played a test in England was in 2021. I think India just drew it out in that final session. I think Tania
yeah
Bhatia and another player was there. I don't remember the name exactly.
the yeah, but there's a huge initiative to host test match at Lords, and I hope
Yeah,
few
definitely.
other cricketing boards take a bit of a lesson from it and just put. India did well in hosting a test match in Chennai. Australia did it well, and I think it's now time for them to take the initiative to sustain and attract more fans towards women's cricket.
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, that would be some real good initiative. And I think women's test cricket also needs to be promoted more. Maybe there has been talks that women's test cricket should be extended to a 5 day event. Let's see what happens and all. So, I think that's more or less the coverage of the latest happenings, and we would again like to bring the same in the next weekend, and it would be definitely a weekly activity. I think also you all can definitely share your feedbacks. There's been a quite a bit of cricket going on. I mean, the England Sri Lanka series is happening. The Pakistan Bangladesh, yeah, I know it's sort of a snooze fest, but I'm hoping that something good turns out in the last 2 days. Else, test matches in Pakistan are a snooze fest only, unless someone comes up with baseball or someone self explodes. So England Sri Lanka, yeah, England look in some good position. Though Matthews has played really well today. Dinesh Chandimal, I think, the X-ray have been cleared, and I mean his fitness has been cleared, so maybe he's likely to bat again. But I think it's gonna be tough for Sri Lanka to come back in this match. Also, I think the West Indies South Africa T20 series is starting tonight or maybe tomorrow. I'm not sure. I think it's gonna start tonight only. So
Tonight, yeah, tonight
uh,
in Indian time.
yeah,
This
so
morning,
by in IST, I think it's gonna start tonight only. The West Indies South Africa, I think they played a T20 series before the T20 World Cup also, and then there was that exciting match in the T20 World Cup, the all important match where South Africa found out all ways to lose that match and not go to the semis, but West Indies just pushed them into the semis. So yeah, definitely. I mean, also, it would be a good test for the upcoming generation of the West Indies players. I think not a lot of the big West Indies players are playing in this series. And as far as Indian cricket is concerned, there's not much to cover as of now. I think there's around 3 weeks before the India Bangladesh series starts, and then the series against the Kiwis, and then there will be that all important border Gavaskar where we would definitely bring a lot of coverage. And then England would be touring India for that limited over series before the Champions Trophy unfolds. And also the England Australia series, as I said at the beginning of the live, the England Australia series will happen in September. That's also going to be a pretty interesting series, I feel. I mean, any England Australia rivalry has been pretty interesting and pretty close over the years, so that's also be a pretty close contest. So, anyways, I think that's enough for today. Also, a lot of thanks to Shubhradeep for joining with us, and a lot of thanks to all the guys who have watched this video. Yeah, definitely. Please share your feedbacks. Please like, share, and subscribe our channel. Please share with more and more cricket enthusiasts. And that's all we would ask for. We would again come back shortly. Till then, stay tuned. Thanks. Goodbye.